Howdy, I'm Walter White. On February 29th, 2020, I co-founded the Star Bandits with 12 of my seemingly best and closest friends. Or at least, people I aspired to know well and love until the day I die. I rode hard for this group. I personally, and specifically, went out of my way to recruit and incorporate and introduce many of you. I'm the reason this is not a fraternity. That was a direction I resisted very early on. I championed the membership and inclusion of women, non-binary, and gay people in this group. There was much debate over whether rules should be made banning interstar bandit romantic relationships. I fought hard for these things, and I won them. I loved the Star Bandits, warts and all. And let me tell you, there were a lot of warts, many of which are publicly known, others of which are protected behind layers of shame and repression. I've always been open about who I am and what I believe. I believe in free expression and free association, and the necessity of transgression in art and self-representation. I've always stood by these things, and always taken pride in my roguish independence and unprofessionalism. I've had no aspirations or ambitions to change or compromise these things, even as those around me have changed or sought these things out. When I discovered I was a poor fit for the needs of the foundation, I resigned. When I felt uncomfortable at the authority assumed by the council, I let my term expire without running for re-election. When I disagreed with the powers that BL did so wholeheartedly and honestly, proposing and asking for the changes I wanted to see. I had no qualms with the oppositional forces I have faced. Efforts have been made to silence me, manipulate me, and emotionally abuse me in private and here in this very discord for daring to stand up for my friends. Simply put, this is unacceptable. And as yet another bridge was burned tonight with the removal of yet another founder of this group, someone who objectively worked harder than most others to be a Star Bandit and represent us, Jesse Pinkman, I can no longer find it in my heart to remain a member of this group. I have been told several times by the illegitimate authority of this group that if I do not feel welcome here, I should leave. After months of advocating for myself, criticizing the things I disliked and criticizing the things I disliked and disagreed with, and telling these power-tripping assholes, no, you can't tell me what to do, I am left with two paths. I can run for council on a reform ticket, campaign hard and effectively, and remove these losers from power and turn this ship around to what it was before. Or I can accept that this group has simply outgrown me. In the pursuit of legitimacy, professionalism, academia, and being a semi-public space, a term I still contest, I have been left behind. I, as have many others in this vapid faux appeal to a legitimacy we never had. The Star Bandits were rogues, trespassing, shoplifting, spray painting, anti-establishment, anti-authoritarians who loved and breathed on the pursuit of happiness and independence. We welcomed people from all walks of life and backgrounds to partake in our special community and experiment. But that dream is dead and buried with the abuse of power demonstrated tonight, with the removal of Jesse Pinkman, is a line crossed that I cannot forgive. He has dedicated his creative energy to this group and been its most consistent, regular, and involved creative. The YouTube channel is mostly videos he made. The podcast featured him on every episode. He contributed to the Gus Fring Show, recorded Eating Venus shows, and stargaze and ring ceremonies and parties. He was our resident videographer and historian. But for the transgression of disagreeing with the ruling regime of this group, who has bullied and persecuted him, he is told he does not belong in this space. To that, I say go fuck yourself, Gus Fring, Lydia, and anyone else who has participated in this awful plot against one of my best friends. You are no longer my friends, and there is no road to reconciliation for you two.
Not only have you been awful to Jesse, you have been awful to me, and I have reached my limit. To those of you who are still my friends, you will no longer find me in this space, because I am no longer a Star Bandit as of the sending of this message. I will not participate in any Star Bandit event, or project until the council is dissolved and a formal, signed apology is delivered to me by my aggressors, which we all know is not the case. If you want to keep up with me outside of this bullshit space, you should know that all my social media can be found under the name Heisenberg. It's been an incredible 5 years, and I would do it all over again, though it'd stand by my convictions a little harder the second time around and refuse the establishment of this stupid-ass council, which has enabled the worst impulses of my former friends. Thank you to everyone who has stood by me and been my friend. I will always return that energy to you. Goodbye, forever. R.I.P. Star Bandits, 2020 to 2024.